And he's back. He's Kevin Lazor from Careerlink. And Kevin, I asked you to come back a little bit here today because I thought we would spend some time talking about what will happen next week at the expo. We had you on last half hour talking about the job postings, which we normally do on a Friday morning, but that segment was far too short to be able to cover what's coming up next week. So good morning again.
Good morning, Todd. And yes, unfortunately, it's still raining, but we'll get through the day and the sun will come out and spring will happen. And we're hoping on April 4th the sun will be very high and very shiny because that is the Indiana County Employment Expo. And, you know, Todd, it's hard to believe, but this is my 14th year here at the Careerlink and 13th or 14th event. And I'm just so excited about it this year because we've pulled together a good team, and before we get started in the actual information about the event, I got to throw out some thank yous. We're working with the Indiana County K-12 Comprehensive Guidance Advisory Committee, and when I talk about them, I short it to the K-12 group. The Center for Economic Operations, which includes the Indiana County Chamber, the Tourist Bureau, IUP, and Indiana County Development Corp., and of course Representative Jim Struzzi's office and the 44th District office as well. But we've all kind of pulled together to do outreach, and this year we're doing something totally different. But before I get into that, let me get to the details of the event for job seekers. The event for job seekers will begin at 12:30 when we admit the veterans. And in addition to employment, we're also going to have representatives from the Du Bois Vet Center, Soldier On, IUP's Office of Military and Veterans Affairs, and VA Altoona, and the VLP, Veterans Leadership Program. So that's for the veterans. And then at 1 o'clock, we're going to run and let the general public in and run a normal job fair till 3:30. So employers that are looking to fill positions now will have the opportunity to talk to job seekers like they normally do. The other exciting thing this year, as we've teamed up with the K-12 group, is we're bringing in 830-some 9th and 10th graders from the Indiana School District. And this K-12 group is working really hard. They've talked to the kids already. They're prepping the kids so that they know what to ask the employers to get the information. This is going to be an opportunity for employers to sell their businesses, to sell their industry. They use a tool. It's called the Holland's Code, the Holland Occupational Themes, and it refers to a theory of careers and vocational choices that people can make. So if you're interested more about that, Google Holland Codes. But in brief, they've divided the kids with bands around their wrist, and there will be a balloon that matches that category on the table of the employer. So the 9th and 10th graders who already have an idea of what they want to do will actually go to breakout sessions and talk to an employer panel. Employers, don't worry, the questions are already set. They know what they want to ask, and you'll get an opportunity to answer those questions. And then the kids that already know what they want to do can go on the arena floor and talk to employers about their industry of interest. And just a brief overview of Holland's Codes. There's realistic, and they're the doers. Conventional, they're the organizers. Enterprising, they're the persuaders, the salespeople, those kind of folks. You have an investigator, who are the thinkers, and artistic, who are the creators, and social, who are the helpers. So that's the Holland Code in brief, and the K-12 group is working really hard to organize the kids, and we're just really excited about the partnership. So again, for job seekers, veterans will be admitted at 12:30. The public will be admitted at 1, and it will run till 3:30. We have about 80 employers, and they range from healthcare to manufacturing to human services. So quite a few opportunities in Indiana County now if you're looking for work.
You know, how I can tell how excited you are about this because all I did was say hello. And
Well, like I said, it's been 14 years, and we've tried different things that sometimes worked out, sometimes didn't, but the school counselors group is working really hard to prepare these kids, and we have to think about the workforce of the future, not only the workforce today. So with companies like URBN and the changes that may bring about, and also taking care of our current working base, it's just, I am, Todd, I can't stop talking about it enough when I'm out in the public, and thanking those group of people that are all making this happen. Because although the Careerlink kind of takes the lead for workforce, it doesn't happen just with our office. It happens with the whole community getting together and making this happen. So thank you to everybody that I mentioned. If you're a job seeker, I do want to remind folks that because the event is at off location, our office is actually going to be closed on April 4th, which means you won't have access to the unemployment courtesy phone and you won't be able to print your resume. So please come in Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday if you need help printing out your resume or just want to ask questions about, hey, how do I talk to an employer at a job fair? Please come on in, give us a call, 724-471-7220.
Hey, Kevin, I want to ask you something about the vets because they get in first for the employment part of it. What do they need to bring with them? Because I know there are certain forms or cards that they generally have to bring.
Generally, we if someone comes in and says they're a vet, we haven't really asked for ID. But you could bring your DD-14. If you're active duty, you have an active duty card that you can, or if you have your VA medical card, that will suffice. But for the most part, we're going to use the honor system when it comes to letting folks in. But if you have that information, we certainly can ask for it. The other thing, Todd, and since you mentioned it early, due to a prior commitment, I'm not going to be able to attend the events. But I just want to say welcome home to our Vietnam vets, and thank you for their service. I know they're going to do that wonderful thing this evening. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend, but we will have services available to them at the April 4th job fair at the Kovalchick Complex.
Mm-hmm. I know you have students pretty well lined up. The school counselors are making sure that they get the kids there for the morning portion of the event. The real key, though, is you've got all those employers who are hoping that they're going to see a flood of people come through the doors. So we really need to emphasize that this is a place where people can walk in the door without a job and walk out with one.
Correct. Interview or hand their resume and fill positions. And specifically, too, and one thing I failed to mention, in addition to the 9th and 10th graders, we've actually asked the school districts to give permission to the 11th and 12th graders who might be looking for summer employment or internships or things like that to actually leave school that day with a permission slip and event. So you'll have some of the folks that this is workforce now too, not just workforce of the future. Some of the kids, we have employers that specifically signed up because they know students will be looking for summer employment as well. So it's important to recognize that.
Yeah, absolutely. And with all of the technical jobs that are out there now, ICTC is turning out people who are ready for work. They've got certifications, and this is the place where they can go and meet up with somebody who could give them a job that might even last them a lifetime.
Correct. If you have taken advantage of any of our local educational institutions, ICTC, IUP, Westmoreland County Community College. Some of those schools will actually be at the job fair, so you can talk to them about courses of study. If you haven't decided yet what your vocational interest is, they can help you kind of guide you to one. But if you're an adult learner that has taken classes at ICTC, please, this is the time to use those skills that you're learning from those classes and present yourself to these employers because they're waiting to hire you.
You know, one of the things that we think about with these career expos, and I think a lot of the time we think these are going to be the people with the hands-on type jobs, the welders and the electricians and all of those types of jobs, construction jobs. But really it runs a gamut, doesn't it, in practically every field?
Yes, and normally the week before, like the Monday before the event, Lenore Hughes works on a nice list, and we'll have that available to the job seekers that come in. But I just pulled up the spreadsheet I'm using to kind of track registrations, and we have banking, we have construction, we have manufacturing, we have healthcare, we have industries. If you're a culinary person, I'm looking here. We have state positions, like if you're interested in working for the Department of Corrections or Transportation, oil and gas. Trying to look what else we have here. But just like I said, about 80 employers, and it runs the whole gamut of in-demand occupations that people can find work in now.
Now, there are a lot of people who wonder about Urban and whether Urban will be represented there and whether they can apply for Urban jobs there. What's the situation with Urban?
So the situation with Urban is this. If you've driven on 422 between maybe our office and Walmart on 422,